So for today's daily video, we're talking about the vegetables. I find the vegetables are a really easy part of a steam meal, and generally speaking, to do a steam meal, the sweet spot for the cook time, some things are slightly more than this, some are less. The Ninja Foodi, and also the same applies for the Ninja Speedy, is its meals in 15 minutes. But I find that the sweet spot is 10 minutes at 190 Celsius, 360 Fahrenheit. So we can break that down into doing one session of rice, one session of, say, the veg, and one session of, say, some chicken. So I'm just going to show you in this video how to do it with vegetables. And you've got a few different options really here. But you'll notice, if you've seen some steam meals before, that they use a mixture of these vegetables. So let me show you them in action. If you take a closer look, we have got baby corn, we've got greens and beans, and we've got mange too. Why is it whenever I hear mange too, I think of Del Boy and Only Fools and Horses? Anyway, so those are the main three types of veg, and you know, you've got two choices here. You can go foil packet, or you can have them open. When you have them foil packet, they take slightly longer to cook, so we're going to show you the difference when you're actually putting together your steam meals. So, of course, you need the rack, and the rack can be really confusing to some. So this is what the rack looks like when it's put together. And it's an upgrade on the earlier Ninja Foodis, because the earlier Ninja Foodi I have, which is the 9-in-1, and bearing in mind this is the 15-in-1, so you can imagine how many times they've upgraded it and made it better. You just had this. So it was brilliant because you got your handles, so it was very easy to grab the food in and out. And then of course you could choose, if you had it like this, sat in your Ninja Foodi, it was considered as top position, whereas that, because it's lower down, was considered as low position. So you could go from low to high position. Or for example, if you've seen our recipes for bacon on the rack, it's top position like that with the bacon bits hanging down the edges there. So that's the kind of system you have there. So then, if you're just testing out the vegetables, like we are in this instalment, you can just put the veg on this layer in top position. And then if you did want to do a steam meal, and let's say you didn't want three types of food, then you are, let's say you're a smaller eater and you just want some quick chicken and some veg, you could easily fit a chicken breast and your veg on here without needing to have the full three-tier system. So how the three-tier system works is that this bottom part is what goes into the water, so you have your carbs below it. Then you have your veg, and then you have your meat, or like I say, you can have your veg and your meat either on the top section or the middle section. So then to put the rack together, you have it in this position, and then you're placing it securely on top like this, and then the whole thing can be positioned into your Ninja Foodi, and it's just as simple as that to do it. And when I look at it on the top shot, so then when you see it in top position, it's like that, and it's kind of got a nice pattern, so you can kind of tell which way around it is. But trust me, it's very easy to get it in the wrong position and fiddle around with it for a few minutes until you get used to it. That's particularly common among beginners that struggle to get it actually into position like this. So just think you're not alone if you end up fiddling with it for a bit and thinking, how did she get it together so quick, you know? But I've had a few practice runs, and Dom's been showing me how to do it as well, because he took to it straight away. So if you are new to getting used to this, then just know you're not alone, and then you can re-watch it and just see how we do it. So back to this veg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you it cooked, both in packets and without, so you can see the difference, because you want to recreate vegetables, and I recommend you start like that rather than just doing a full meal straight away, and then you can understand how the food cooks. So I'm just going to move some stuff out of the way so we can get started. So chopping board at the ready. And depending on what veg you want to do, you know, the mange too doesn't really need anything, so that can just be cooked as it is, unless you want to trim some of the ends. And then the baby corn's brilliant as it is, it's just the green beans that really need a trim. So trim off the ends. And then once you've trimmed off the ends, you can get rid of your trimmings and we can start cooking them. Actually, I'm just going to do a bit more baby corn and a bit more munch too, just so that we've got a better portion size. So now that you've prepared your vegetables, it's a case of putting it together and getting it into the Ninja Foodi. So you can do half that's in the packets and then you can do half that's just sat there, because then you can kind of understand on how they cook. I'm going to make a foil packet. So a bit of spare foil, and then let's use a little bit of the beans, a little bit of the corn, because you still want some that can be cooked the other way as well. And then you just want it so that you can actually fit it in, so that's a good sized portion there. And then because it's in foil packets, you can actually add some butter to it as well, and you can season it like you normally would if you're cooking vegetables. So a bit of salt, bit of pepper. I've got some dried rosemary there as well. A little bit of freshly chopped parsley. And then last but not least, I love some butter. I use salted butter with my savoury food, unsalted with bacon. So I always have a little bit of a supply on the go. It's gone a bit soft because it's really warm as I'm recording this. But you can use straight out the fridge as well. It really doesn't matter. And then wrap it up, making sure the butter doesn't escape. And you've made yourself a veggie packet. We're going to get the 15-in-1 out and we're going to show you how to cook these veg. So we're ready, we've got the 15-in-1 out, so we're going to start by adding the water to the bottom. 1.5 cups of water, which is about 360 ml, is ideal for steam meals. So add this in. Then you can add the rack in now, or if you find it easier to add the food in before it goes in, then go for it. So for example, that steamed veg that you put in the foil, that can go on top or it can go in the underneath section, whichever you prefer. For example, you can just pop it in like that and it will cook, or you might prefer to have it in the lower position and then you can add it like that instead. And then I also find that it kind of goes to one side and gets twisted when you pop it in. So I find it easier to pop that in when the bottom section's in, like that. So now you've done that, that's how you would do it, is if you were doing foil in the middle layer, and let's say for pretend that you had some rice in the bottom and you were cooking the chicken up top. And then you would put the chicken over there and then lid down and it would cook. So, what if you wanted to do the veg up top? So that's how you put the foil in when it's just wrapped in foil. Then grab some foil and you can ladle it like you would if you were cooking in the oven. And then pop it in. So you want it to go there, and then you can wrap the foil under and just feel to make sure it's secure in place. Oh, that's not going anywhere now. So then once you've added your foil layer and you've secured it in place, you can add some veg on top of it. So you can add as much as will fit really. I think I've probably done a bit too much here because these baby corns are quite big. But let's see how much we can squeeze in. But these are all different vegetables that you kind of see in speed meals. So if you can see how they cook, then you can have an idea of them. Green beans is probably the most famous though. So the veg is now ready to go on, and isn't this brilliant, the way that you could just stack it up like that. So if you do like a lot of veg and you know, you're a vegetarian so you're not going to have chicken on top, then you can have 2 layers of veg if you're doing a lot of veg, there's no problem there. So pop your lid down. So for cooking part of your steam meal, you need to turn it on first, and then you want to be in the middle section. This is the combi steam where all the steam stuff happens, and you want steam meals. You want 180 Celsius, that's 360 Fahrenheit, a cook time of 10 minutes, minutes and then press start. When you first got a multi-cooker, it's so hard understanding the times and temps and getting the food spot on and cooked perfectly. That's why we've made for you the multi-cooker cooking guide. It features all the main functions of the multi-cooker, from dehydrate to grill to steam roast to steam air fry, pressure cooking, and of course simple everyday air frying. It's perfect for lots of different types of multi-cookers, from Instant Pot users to Ninja Foodi users, Ninja Speedy, air fryer. Even if you've got a flex straw, it's just perfect for so many of them. You'll find the link below in the description and you can pre-order it now. And now let's get back to the video. And we've beeped. So I just want to mention to you before you look at them, because it might shock you, that the green beans, I expect them to be overcooked, and this is the point I'm trying to make about this experiment, that there's a reason why when you see these meals being made, steam meals I'm talking about here, why you always have the carbs on the bottom, then you have the veg, and then you have the protein up top. Because if you think about it, when you're cooking a meal generally you will find that the chicken breast will take the longest to cook, then say the potatoes, or they'll carry a similar, but the veg is more delicate and doesn't take long at all. So that's why generally you see the vegetables in the middle layer, so just expect that. But this applies more to green beans, which are really thin in size. So shall we have a look, and I can show you what I'm talking about so that you know for when you're doing your steam meal veg. Oh, we've got a little bit of steam. Remember, it is part of a steam meal setting. So as you can see now, the steam is gone and you can see the colouring on the green beans compared to, say, the baby corn. And just like if you're cooking vegetables normally, you know that the thicker veg will always take longer. So for example, if you have a look there, you can see that they're very well done at the green beans, whereas the baby corn is perfect, and the green beans underneath are fine because they were not on the top layer and closest to the air vent, and the munch 2 underneath is fine as well because it's not as close to the cooking vent, and that's what you can expect there. If we take it out the top layer, I can get it out and I can give you a closer look. So then you can see there what the veg actually looks like, which bits, and you'll notice really it's the bits on top that are going to get it, like if you've overcooked them in the air fryer. So now you're probably wondering, how does this compare to veg that's on the second layer? Well, if you think of the veg that was underneath on the top layer, that is what it'll be like because it's getting much closer to the air vents. And then let's pop out our foil. And then I'll move this out of the way so we can have a proper look. And then pop this open. And if you look there, you've got completely perfectly cooked veg, and that is why the meals are done like this. So this video could really be described as the mistakes people make when making a steam meal, rather than just showing you the veg component. Because traditionally, if I was to do a meal, let's say if I wanted to do a curry and I wanted to do it with some veg as well, then you would put the rice in the bottom layer, then you would add the veg that you're having with it, and then on the top layer you'd have your chicken breasts that are covered in your favourite curry seasoning, and then of course they would perfectly cook. So can you believe that, for a difference from the middle layer to, better not burn myself here, to the top layer? I mean, it's just so different. But like I say, if you take off the veg that was on top, so if you did add some veg at the top and it was covered, then that's realistically what it would look like, because we've taken off the top little bits. For example, that's what one of the green beans is like, and you get the idea. And I must admit, I much prefer to do it like this, because you can add the butter, you can add some lovely flavourings as well. So let's say you're having a red Thai curry, for example. You can put your favourite red Thai curry vegetables in a packet, and as well as the butter you can add some of your favourite seasonings, lemongrass paste in there as well, or whatever you fancy. But it's just showing you what the difference is like between the two racks, and why you see so many recipes, why the vegetables is wrapped up in foil. And of course, if you're cooking something delicate like salmon, you can do that again in foil as well, which is also great if you're doing it in a marinade and you want to keep it locked in together and you don't want it coming out. So that is just how it's done from the vegetable point of view. So don't forget to watch our other videos where we show the carbs element and we show the protein. Thanks so much for watching our YouTube video. It feels so amazing that you've stuck around to the end. And of course, that must mean that you like our videos. So why not also follow us on social media? You can find us at the Kitchen Gadgets Club on Facebook and on Pinterest, TikTok. We're Kitchen Gadgets Club. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great videos like this one. And you can also find us at kitchengadgetsclub.com, where we have a membership that shares brand new kitchen gadget recipes every week. And we also have lots of great ideas, resources, tips and tricks. And we are an ovenless kitchen, so we teach you exclusively how to cook with kitchen gadgets. And a ciao for now.